the start of the 3-day national taxi Lekgotla in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni. Let's listen in now. President Cyril Ramaphosa addressing it virtually.
Because they said I needed to isolate myself, having been in the same room as somebody who proved COVID positive and had to be hospitalized. So as a result, they have said I should be removed from all places where I was meant to be. And I'm sorry about this. I would have loved to have been there. I know that over the next 3 days, you will be charting the course of what I would call a reimagined, better regulated and empowered industry. The taxi industry is the lifeblood of our public transport system. If there ever is a transport system that is not only the lifeblood, but is the sinews and the muscles of our economy, the taxi industry is. Unashamedly so, you play a very key and important role in the transportation of our people. Since the late 70s, the taxi industry has served our people by providing an accessible means of public transit in nearly every corner of the country. The taxi industry emerged at a time when apartheid special planning severely restricted people's access to safe and reliable transport. I've often said that if you really wanted to see the effectiveness of a black-led, black-operated, black-owned industry, that is the taxi industry. Highly empowered, original, and it is an area that you as black people have set up your own ecosystem of an industry, and you have excelled in, and you have built it to be a very important industry. From its humble beginnings of a few operators, mainly in the urban centers, the industry has grown from strength to strength, and it has grown by leaps and bounds. Today, the vast majority of transport commuters use taxis, followed by buses and trains. The industry is a major source of business creation, with approximately 150,000 taxi business owners in operation, and nearly all of them black, which represents the real texture of the ownership of the taxi industry. The industry makes a major contribution to employment, both directly by providing jobs to drivers, queue marshals, conductors, and car washing services, and indirectly by transporting millions between home and place of employment. It is estimated that the sector employs in the region, and you will know better, of about 400,000 people directly, while it links with providing businesses to the sectors of manufacturing, provision of supplies, fuel, maintenance, repairs, you name it. Taxis have been found to cater more for individual needs than other forms of mass transportation, while fulfilling the demand at a lower investment cost than that of private transport. Taxis assist in bringing bread to the table, providing a road to education, and building community networks. The taxi industry thus plays a critical role in the lives of commuters and to the economy as a whole. So therefore, as an industry, I want you to know that you play the most important role in the economy of our country, and this makes your industry all the more necessary that there is transformation and empowerment with real benefits to the businesses that are involved. High barriers to entry, such as the cost of vehicle financing and maintenance, threatens your business viability. Badly maintained and old vehicles threaten the safety of passengers and other road users. We share a common aspiration to see the minibus taxi industry overcome its challenges, adapt in response to the demands of modern public transportation, and ultimately to grow and to thrive. At the heart of all our endeavors is the formalization, the regulation, and economic empowerment in the sector. This three-pronged strategy reflects the recommendations of the National Taxi Task Team set up in 1995 to look at challenges facing the industry. Now, 25 years later, we're taking stock of how far we have come. From this Lekgotla, we need to come up with concrete measures to ensure the long-term sustainability of this important industry. We have to address several challenges that have tarnished the reputation of the industry. These include the issue of labor relations and allegations of exploitation of workers, the high number of road accidents involving taxis, the industry's response to the rise of e-hailing services and compliance with tax laws. We also need to address the conflict resulting to competition over routes and the associated acts of violence and criminality that we often see. Just as the industry must itself address and overcome issues of safety and violence, we as government remain committed to driving interventions that must strengthen the industry. That is why among the issues that we will be discussing at this Lekgotla is that of subsidization. We have invested substantially as a government in the taxi recapitalization program, as you well know, and will continue to leverage its potential. We will be giving renewed attention to supporting business growth in the sector, especially to empower previously disadvantaged individuals, such as women. I'm pleased that issues like access to finance and skills development will also be discussed here, because they are crucial in determining whether a fledgling taxi business succeeds or fails. Formalization means greater regulation, and the compact that must emerge from this Lekgotla must be anchored in that most important of values that we have embraced as South Africans, the rule of law. That the law is the supreme instrument that we have in our country. We must eradicate illegal operations that affect both the industry and government and are a catalyst to conflict. Illegal operations threaten the safety of passengers and open the door for licensing and insurance fraud. Given its financial size, formalizing the taxi industry is a vital step towards ensuring its contribution to the national tax revenue base. And importantly, formalization will benefit not just operators but workers, who will be able to benefit from social support like the Unemployment Insurance Fund and training funded by the Skills Development Levy. We must speak as one on the need for professionalism. This Lekgotla must be a turning point for an industry that is too often associated with disregard for the rule of law and the rules of the road, the abuse of customers and conflict.
All right, that's President Cyril Ramaphosa addressing virtually the taxi Lekgotla there that's taking place in Boksburg. You will know, of course, that the president is self-isolating after he came into contact from the reports with someone who then later tested positive for coronavirus. So taking those precautions and addressing that event virtually, calling there for an end to an era in which the taxi industry is sometimes perceived as not being compliant with certain aspects of the rule of law, particularly addressing the issue of illegal taxi operations, which he says tend to fuel conflict and also compromise the safety of passengers and other South Africans, and also talking about formalization of the taxi industry. We'll leave that there for now.